Okay, only a 15 register fortunate, or 14, sorry. Okay, and appear, appear. You have 4. No. So the rest of you, other than fortunate, I'm gonna need you to actually write your name. Yeah. Okay. So this course is really not that bad at all. Okay. Just going to require that you actually put in a bit of effort on your side, but otherwise business calculation is not that bad at all. Okay, and when I see you face to face, I actually am not, I don't need to actually do this, but I'm doing this because then I want to upload all the videos to YouTube so that if in any case, like I know some of your colleagues may have missed class, then they can obviously just catch up via their YouTube channel. Okay. Now, the first thing that I obviously want to do with you guys today is as follows. Okay. Okay. Now I'm guessing since you guys obviously don't have your textbook, I'm sure none of you have actually taken the time to actually go through your module outlook. That is safe assumption. Yes or no? I'm moving this is not behaving exactly as it should be. Okay. Okay, I might as well give up all on my head over there. Okay. But what I wanted to show you is this is the module output. Okay, so like BUCAx. And it basically shows you the weighting. This is on page 9 of 25. So, and it basically shows you the weighting. So 10% is for your ice tasks. And your ice tasks are things that I will give to you, just basically exercises. Okay. I think I'll give you 4 of them. Okay. And in those ice tasks, you just need to attempt them. All right. It's not necessarily about how much you actually score. Okay. But the higher the better, obviously, for your own practice, because you're getting the concept. Okay. And that's how you get that 10% over there. Then, test 1 is 25% of your final. Okay. Now that it comprises of unit 1 and 2. All right. Here we're going to just go through the theory of unit 2. Welcome. Are you here for business calculation? Yes. Okay. So, test 1 is unit 1 and 2. Now, test 1 is obviously easier than test 2. Okay, so you want to score as high as possible with test 1. Okay. Test 2 is slightly more harder, all right? And that's focused on unit 3 and 4. When your exam is focused on all 5 units. Okay. Now, why am I sharing this information with you? All right, test 2 is 30% of the final mark, by the way. And then your exam is 35% of the final mark. Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but test 1 is 25%. I think I did. Okay. Why am I mentioning that? Strategy. Okay. I don't want you guys saying, oh, when you've written test 2, and you've seen how hectic it may have been in comparison to test 1. And you say, oh, I wish I had taken myself that seriously, right? I don't want to say that. So how do we prevent that from happening? Taking it seriously now and preparing for everything now. Okay? So please, you have number one, take advantage of it plus one, do all your eyes tasks so that you get that 10%. You should be looking at that 10% as if it's yours already. Okay? But literally, if you're not, for you to lose out on any of that 10%, it's just about you not being serious. Okay? It's just bluntly. Okay? So that's the first thing that I obviously want to say. You're here for BUCAx, business calculation? Yes, that's the course. And then the module, business calculation. Alright, so you just need to go grab it first. So just to save you some time, alright, so that's that. Then the next thing that I need to show you guys is basically yes. Alright, so basically let me start from here so that you guys can see how I arrived at this particular page. So you log in, alright, and you guys will probably then see all the modules that you are registered for. On my side, this is all the modules that I am actually lecturing, okay, this semester. Alright, so you click on BUCAx, business calculations, the module code. Then once you click on that, you'll get something to this effect. Now where you want to go is more resources. In more resources, you will then find ICE activities. This is what I was talking to you about in terms of the thing. All the ICE activities that I give you are online. I'll never give you something to write here in class or memory. So that's more what it means. Then I have to physically have full marks. Okay? As opposed to the system actually in the mark. But please make sure it's easy for both. Okay? Right. So literally all you will do here, you won't be able to see these just now. You won't be able to see these just yet because I haven't yet displayed them to you. Okay? So I was just checking something quickly there. I haven't yet displayed those to you. Okay? But I will release them as soon as we've covered the content. So anyway, so next as task. Earlier on in the day was pretty slow. There we go. So that'll pop up. You can see there's some instructions over here. So pay close attention to the instructions. Okay? That will help you in your answering of the actual task. And then all you need to do is to actually go and click on begin. So you'll never get kicked out, alright, or forced out, or forced to complete the actual item. You can also try it as many times as you want, okay? So you'll never lose marks. Sorry, not lose marks. There's no risk if you, because it will record, it will capture your highest mark. So don't be afraid to keep trying to get a higher mark, okay? Okay, all right. And then once you've done the ice task, immediately after you submit it, we will mark and give you your actual mark, okay? So as soon as you click save and submit, thereafter you should get your mark, right? So that's where you get your ice task. Let's see what else we can get tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. You also have your Lesson plans. Have any of your other lecturers shown you your lesson plans so far? Okay. You guys need to get some materials. Unless you want to see them. Okay. All right, so there you can see there's 5 there. Have 5 learning units. Okay. All right, you're significantly less time than you used to have. Okay. But it's still fun. We'll get you everything you need to. So you can literally go to these and see all the exercises that we're going to do together. See all the items you guys are going to do in preparation for this module. Okay. Or in ensuring that you understand everything for this module. Okay, so that's your lesson plans. Okay. Then put up there something they put themselves. Last thing that I want to show you guys is this learn use the slides, lecture slides. So we have slides there for all 5 minutes. And once again, so you can read ahead if you wanted to. Okay. Guys, the lecture slide is literally just for you to understand basically what we are going to be tackling in the unit. Okay. But ultimately, this is a numbers-oriented module. Yes. So we're going to pass this module by way of actually practicing questions. Okay. Is any of you a Hewitt? Good. All right. I'm going to look at this side in a minute. Great. Okay. So that is your VC learn. All right. Then let's get into some course content. Learning unit 1. This course, for the most part, I think for most of you, is really just going to be a recap of stuff that you did in high school or in finance or so forth, so forth. So I expect all of you to do well. And I really, really do. Okay. So there's a course where you should be scoring 100%, 105%, 110%, 200%. Yeah? You will do that. Last step that I have to come up with their heads. Okay, cool. Right. Now, when it comes to numbers, guys, you have one already. Any course you do, any course you go to, somewhere you're going to do some numbers. Okay. Now, here we're trying to take that and we're trying to show you on a very basic level, particularly in business, because I do believe all of you signed up to high certificate in business principles and practice. All right? 100%. So that is what this model is then catered to speak to us. Okay? All right? It's made up of a number system. It's made up of a set of defined symbols. The numbers they represent and the rules forming large or small numbers and their symbols. Okay? Right. So that's a number system. That's what a number system is all about. Okay? Now we have different types of number systems. Okay? We have the Hindu Arabic system, which is a decimal system, and it works in 10. All right? Referred to as a base 10 system. Okay? Whether you realize or not, this is the system you can operate. all at this time. Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine? Did any of you guys know this? That you are operating on the Hindu Arabic system. Arabic system. Can I be honest with you? I didn't know this until I saw this talk. Okay, but I do recall them talking about base 10 system. Alright? 10, 100, 1,000, million, or should I say 10,000, 100,000, million, and it just keeps on going. Alright? Right, so that's a 10 base system. That's what we've been operating on all along. Can you believe it? Okay, place value, right? Each digit, when you look at numbers, has a value. So for instance, let me do this because I want it all to be on the screen when you guys look at the video, YouTube video. Okay. Let's do this. Module. BUCAx. One. Oh. Mm-hmm. No, that's exactly the time. This one it looks something like this. Okay. Oh, yeah, one person did that right there. Divide this here. Um, well, so, yeah, but you guys will be fine, don't worry. You guys do know when you're receiving it. Have you ordered it? So what I'd advise is whenever you guys have homework or things that you need to do, take pictures of them and share them with us. You guys have a lot of so you guys need to set up a WhatsApp group between yourselves. I'm not going to be a part of it. You can share memes and videos and all those fun things on that platform. Alright? So yeah, do that. Also, it helps assisting you guys. For instance, someone might remember, hey guys, we have an assignment in business communication. Okay, guys, Aubrey just posted this on BC that have you seen it? Okay. Some of you will realize actually your BC that is not set up properly, not the between them. Okay, but at least you have that as a means of communication. Guys, by the way, just a reminder, the ice task is due this coming Wednesday. All right, those are the things you can share on the group. Maybe you're having a challenge with something. You can ask for assistance from your colleagues via the group. So it really does have its value. Okay. Other things is maybe one of you had a discussion with a particular lecturer, and the lecturer said, "These are the core things that come in accounting test one, for example." Okay. Now, obviously, you can give the rest of your friends the tips that you obviously received from the lecture. Okay, so it really is a brilliant platform, all right, for you guys to obviously collaborate and work together, trying to tackle things. Okay, now where was I going? Somebody give me a random number. Random number. One. No, I need. Okay, I need more digits in the number. 300 and what? Okay, 362. 362. And I'm just going to say 300. So just to add more to it. Now each of these, change the color there. Each of these is a place value, okay, or holds value. Okay. What value does this one hold? This first three. What value does it hold? Huh? Not 3,000, but you're on it. 300,000. Okay. All right. And this, what does this hold? What is it? It's to everybody. Okay. And one thing that I say in my classes, I welcome guessing. Welcome guessing. All right. Because it's an interaction. I'm not doing this. I'd like to also hear from you guys what your thoughts are. All right. And the reason why I say, I know a lot of people in the education space like to say there's no wrong answer. Ah, it's a lie. There are many, many wrong answers. You agree with me, right? There are many wrong answers. However, surprise me for giving you a wrong answer. Because it shows me when you're applying your mind, you're paying attention to what it is that I'm actually sharing. Okay? And you have the courage to actually share your opinion. Okay? But why I really do appreciate you sharing as well is because if, and this is obviously looking at worst case scenario, right? If you are actually on the wrong track, it gives me an opportunity to actually work with you to get you an answer to the question or the concept with. Okay? On the other side, on the more positive side, the fact that you might be 100% correct, and on top of that, you might actually be teaching me something like this. Okay? So, it's not, a lot of the times we stand here and we think like, oh, that's the guy with all the knowledge. But you guys know some things that I don't know, all right? In many different spheres of life, okay? So, uh, please, I'm more than welcome your engagement. And if you don't want to give it to me voluntarily, then I will pick on you and volunteer you. All right? So let's get comfortable with interaction. Let's get comfortable with interaction and engaging each other. Anyway, so what value does this number hold? 2000. Okay? 2000. Okay. And particularly with this subject, guys, I can tell you now, a lot of you already know the answers to the things that we will be discussing and engaging about. All right? So, you are here. All right. Then 0 holds the place value for a particular value when no other digit goes into that position. Okay. So basically, it's just communicating to you that this is 2,300. I think that was all right. Let's take a look back at our number just to speak to that point. Yes. So, all right. So 362,300. This is telling you that although there is no actual value there, it is holding, all right? It is holding the value of something, or let's say, it is notifying you that it is 300 and not 3, because otherwise it will just knock off these 3 and you actually able to drive home the point. Can you see? That changes the whole value of the number. It's no longer 362. 1,300 is 3,620. Does that make sense? So that's why we still throw in the zeros, just to show you that it's just, it is holding value over there. Okay, although that is nothing. Think about it differently. Okay, then whole numbers. We also begin to talk about whole numbers. The numbers we use for counting are called whole numbers. So whenever we count it, 1, 2, 3, etc. We don't go 1.5, 2, 2.5. Does that make sense? We just go whole numbers, right? Even if we're doing 10, 20, those are still whole numbers, okay? All right, even numbers, you know what even numbers are, I assume? They are numbers that we can divide by 2 and have a whole number at the end of it. Okay? So 10 divided by 2 gives us 5. Okay? 2 divided by 2 gives us 1. Gives us a whole number. Odd numbers on the other side, are opposite to even numbers in that when we divide them by 2, we don't get a whole number. We might get a decimal fraction. Alright, in addition to that. Alright? So if we say 3 divided by 2, what do we get? 1.5. Okay? You don't get a whole number. Alright, so in other words, you say it's not divisible by 2. Okay? These numbers are divisible by 1. Alright? Because 1 into anything is equal to that number, or divisible by itself. Does it make sense? Okay. Alright. Right. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Then we have negative numbers. Okay, integers. Integers are numbers that can be written without a fraction or a decimal component. Can be positive or negative. Okay, so if you look at the number line, it's just referring us to page 6 in your textbook. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see. I hope you know this line with me. I should be wearing glasses. But no, you're wearing these masks. Right? And you're talking. It's going over your glasses. Right? So each of these numbers, you can see all of them are whole numbers. If you have positive and you have negative. Okay? That's why they refer to them as integers. Right. Right. Okay. Then we have fractions. Okay. Fractions. What do we mean when we say a fraction? It is a part of the whole. Okay. It is a portion of the whole part. Okay. She gave me half or a quarter of the part. Okay. That's a portion of the whole thing. Things become very straightforward when you start to look at them in real life on a practical level, right? All right. All right. So if we look, then if we go to our textbooks, we see. Uh, and now I'm debating: is it worthwhile to actually go through the whole of this unit from a theoretical standpoint when you guys don't have your books? But it's a recap for the most part, for most of us, right? It's not brand new stuff. Otherwise, I'm sure you guys would be like, so you can just set up this stuff, right? If it was easy ever for it. Okay. And here you have, yes, you have common fractions, right? And you have decimal fractions, you have proper fractions, you have improper fractions, mixed fractions, recurring decimal fractions, okay? Terminating decimal fractions, equivalent fractions. In other words, 2 over 4 is equal to 8 over 16, alright? And then you have simplified, so basically in its lowest form, the lowest form. So 2 over 4 in its lowest form is 2 over 4 in its lowest form is 1 over 2. Okay? Right, so that's all that we're really speaking to over there. So we have rational numbers. Okay, is a number that can be pinpointed on the number line. Therefore, whole numbers are rational numbers. So same thing, it's a different term from the integers. Okay? In terms of whole numbers, you can use these things interchangeably. Okay? All right. Then estimation, the mental skill of making a educated guess. I estimate, all right, that the number of sessions that we have together is about 30. Okay? We are going to engage on this subject matter, I think, around 20. Approximation. With approximation, the true value is known first, and only then is a new approximate number formed, which is very close to that. So in science, when you do a calculation, and then you obviously have 15.86, and you can round it upwards. You can say 16. That's an approximation. Does that make sense? or you can round it downwards. You could say 15.80. Does it make sense? That's an approximation. You're making an assumption that based off of the true value. Let me not say an assumption, not an assumption. Okay. So basically, it's just rounding upwards, rounding downwards. So that's the difference between the two. Okay, accuracy of approximation should be realistic and logical. Okay. We obviously want to be close to our true value. We don't want to round too far away from our true value. Okay. It would be pointless to round to the nearest 5 rand when we got that number 15.86. Does that make sense? So that's very far from the okay. And you obviously give us, since in science, we're working with a lot of precision. So as such, if we round to the nearest 5, that's going to, obviously, if we're using that information to do some other experiments, for example, or calculate how much wood or materials will be needed to build this classroom, then that is obviously going to give us a very, very bad outcome, because we will either have too little or too much of the necessary material. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Rounding off numbers. This is very, very critical. And I'm seeing more and more that my students don't actually know how to round their numbers. Okay? They don't actually know how to round their numbers. What you want to do whenever rounding your numbers, let me do it on the screen again. So that let's use the same. Okay. Let's round that number to the nearest 1,000. What is it going to be? You raise your hand? You answer? Okay. 100% right. So it's going to be 362. Okay. And we're going to leave it like that. Okay. So what did we just do? We wanted to round up to the nearest 1,000. Okay. So whenever we want to round off, we say, okay, this is where we want to round off to, the nearest 1,000. So what do? We look at the number that comes after that and say, is that number less than 5 or 5 and upwards? 3 is what? Less than or more than? It's less than, and it's not equal to 5. Okay, it's less than. So obviously that means we're rounding down. Does that make sense? That's why we have 0 here, as she so eloquently highlighted. All right, and therefore the next number remains the same. Does it make sense? So that's all that you're always doing when it comes to rounding. You identify where do they want me to round to. Okay, then you look at the very next number and say, do I round this up or down? Okay, rounding up is going to make this 2 become a 3. Okay, rounding down is going to remain the same. Okay, it's going to remain the same. Okay, so that is that. Cool. So, but we'll have plenty of practice when it comes to rounding. Okay. So it's something that you must understand how to do. Why? Because not only for this module, but for the sake of moving forward, when I see you guys in accounting, that's obviously you guys in accounting, you're going to be needing to be able to round. When you guys go into finance, all right, and everybody gets a taste of finance in second year, there's going to be a lot of rounding there. You guys also, I think, should be doing statistics in second year. Also going to have some rounding there. Okay. Wherever there's calculations, you're bound to obviously some rounding, or going to need to do some rounding. Okay, so there's no running away from that. Okay, there we're just speaking to addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, things that we have obviously come across. Okay, rules of negative numbers. Okay, so here we're talking when you divide negative numbers, what happens? When you multiply negative numbers, what happens? When you add a negative number to a positive number, what happens? When we minus a negative number from a negative number, what happens? Things to that effect. Okay, but we'll see these things practically when we go through exercises together. Then algorithms. Okay, algorithms are step-to-step procedures needed to solve a mathematical problem correctly. That's all they really are. Okay, so bomb dust is an algorithm. We start with brackets. After brackets is off. In other words, multiplication. Okay, then division. Okay, then after that multiplication. Okay, so off. Let's see if we put off in there. Something of that. We will see the multiplication. And obviously addition and then finally subtraction. Okay? So that bomb dust is an algorithm. It's a step-by-step procedure. Okay? Then we have what we call commutative, associative, and then distributive laws. Okay, and we'll speak to this and then we'll actually do practical exercise. It will be easier to remember. Easier to remember. Finding the missing figure. This is very easy as long as you can spot the pattern. How do you spot the pattern? By being able to see the logic. Okay, in each of these steps, these guys are timing by 2. Okay, so the number that's missing should be 2 times the previous number before it to get the missing number. Does that make sense? Okay, or throughout this column, you guys have been adding the previous number to the following number, the previous number to the following number. Okay, so if I want to get the number at the very end, I just need to add the previous number to the following number, all right, before that actual missing number, and I'll have my answer. Okay, so it's all about just being able to spot those patterns, understand what is happening, and for you to do that, it's just being able to see the logic as to what's happening. So nothing hectic there. Averages. I'm sure we all know what an average is. It is the, what can I say? Um, it is the total divided by the number of occurrences. So how many students do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 students, okay? Then you guys score whatever you guys obviously score. We add up each percentage and then we divide that by 9. Okay? That's the average score. We'll see. Alright. So literally, averages should give us a problem and then powers or roots or exponents. Okay, and I think I'm going to just park the bus here. Or should we continue? Oh, it's the last slide. Can you imagine? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? So this is learning unit 1. Once again, these rules, I think we'll really properly delve into them when we see the practical application. And the practical application you will see best when we actually go through exercises together. Okay? But otherwise, that is learning unit 1. Okay. So the next time I see, whether it be online or face to face, we'll try and tackle questions. I'm just curious, those who have actually ordered their books by a while ago. When is this going to tomorrow? Anyone else? Anyone else? No? Anyone else? No? Before then, you already there's only the 17th. You must strike. Every semester is different. Hold on. Okay, but if you know of anyone who has done this module before, then I you can listen to it. It's very nothing really is I myself use that I'm very confident here. So if you can borrow that, if you've already ordered your book from my book, then you can just borrow that from someone there. And then obviously when you arrive, you can get back to it. Yeah. Or you can tell one of your classmates to buy it. All right. Now, something that I forgot, I terribly forgot to do, is to give you guys my name. Now, some of you may already know my name. Because maybe you look at your lecturers, their names, I don't know. I don't know if they give you that information or not. Do any of you guys know? Don't worry, I'm not going to mark you down or anything. Just curious. So this is who I am. My name is Aubrey. Okay, and my surname is as follows. That's my surname right there. So you can call me Mr. Sinzani, you can call me Aubrey, you can call me Mr. Ed. Really doesn't matter to me. Okay. Well, another thing I forgot to mention is that in my classes, I only have one room. Anybody want to guess what that room is? Anyone want to guess? Yes. No. Your cell phone rings, right? Firstly, I don't want to hear it ring, so it should be on silent or vibrate at least. But I understand that some people may have kids, people may be running businesses, emergencies do happen. In that event, don't answer your phone. That I don't. Don't answer your phone. Talk, go outside and have your conversation. Because you think you can whisper, but you know what to do. Okay? And then you are obviously going to do it. But yeah, that's not the main, that's not like a good rule. I only have one rule, and that is respect. Respect not just for me to you, but from you to me, but for you to your colleagues. Okay. I honestly believe that if everything is respect. Okay. If for my classes, guys, you can walk in at any given point in time. Now explain why I'm saying that. Other lectures may not allow that. Okay. And they have good and just reason to. Okay, with my modules, they're all numbers related. So I'd rather you have 5 minutes of a lecture than nothing at all. So that 5 minutes we may be discussing a formula or discussing a key concept, and that very concept or formula has to be different between topic and theory. Okay? So for me, I'd rather you come in regardless of the time. Don't say, sorry, I'm late. No, just come, sit down. Because that also disrupts or interrupts the class. Okay? So just quietly come and sit down. Okay? Likewise, because you respect your colleagues, when you walk in, whenever you do walk in, you're not going to come in, making a whole ruckus, all right? Greeting one or two of your friends, okay? All right? And as my door is always open, right, for you to come in, it's always also open for you to come out. I'll never chase you. I'll never. There's nothing you can do or say that will make me chase you. However, I will ask you, do you actually want to stay? Do you actually want to be here? Because if you don't want to be here, nobody's forcing you to be here. Right? I know somebody that has paid peacefully to be here. Okay? And maybe they said you don't want to see them at home. I don't know. But my assumption is you are choosing to be here. Okay? when you're choosing to be there, I'm assuming you want an education, or you want to learn. Okay? But if that is not the case, and I'll never ask the person, why are you leaving? I'll never do that. That's your business. Right? So also, even if you just want to go to the league, you can do that. All right? Once again, I'm treating you like adults. Okay? Because I believe you're adults and I believe you'll make good decisions for yourself, right? In your situation, whatever it may be. Okay? So yeah, that is basically how I want us to conduct ourselves in class. Also on my side, I mean, if there is something that I do say, a lot of times I'm really just walking around and moving around, trying to make the engagement, something that we can all appreciate. But if ever I say anything that offends you in any way, tell me. Okay? I'm a human being, I also make mistakes. Okay? And obviously, if you can't have the discussion in public, you can obviously tell me in a break, you can always send me an email. Okay? Obviously, then I can apologize for anything I may have said or done. Okay, right. The last thing, and I promise this is the last thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm not going to hold you for another session. Is this. Let me change colors. This is my teaching philosophy. UNN. What do you think that stands for? What do you think the U stands for? This is where you begin to walk up in the spirit of guessing. Guessing. What do you think? You don't know. Take a guess. Take a guess. What do you think? No, there's no marks here. There's no marks here. What do you think you use? Oh, yes, yes. Guys, when you are in a test or exam, you don't know something, and this thing happens. It happens to me. It happens to all of us. This thing happens. You can't always know everything. Okay? Yes. Don't be looking at it and say, I'm going to leave this thing blank. No, this is so disappointing. You're like, how can you leave things not just correct it? It's scientifically proven that especially when it comes to mind. That's how it's just coming from somewhere. It's not like this environment. Anyway, next question. What do you think? You. Hmm? What? Umbrella. You're thinking about the rain. It was not raining. Huh? What else? That one last question now, please. Understand. The first thing that you want to do is try to understand what the hell are they asking? Okay, what is this concept that we are going into here? Huh? What are they trying to relay? All right, in this chapter. So that's the first thing that you want to try and do. You want to just try and understand. And a lot of the time that I spend with you will be on this. Will be on seeking to understand. After you understand, what's the next thing that you're trying to do? 100%. We're trying to master. Trying to master that concept or that formula or that procedure, all right, on how we do things. After we've mastered, what's the final thing that we need to do in order to face that exam or test? Apply. Simple. Understand, master, and then apply. Guys, we are never going to give you exactly the same exercise as it is in the textbook, right there in the text. It's too easy. Okay? Because we are assuming you obviously are taking time to spend some time in the textbook. Okay? You need to be able to apply. Okay? And that's the true test of whether you actually have mastered or not. Your ability to apply. Because at the end of the day, everything we teach you here, you must then go into industry and say, yes, we had sales of 1,000, but then we also had expenses of 250,000. So our profit is therefore how much? 750. Okay, we don't want you just coming into school and learning how to do all these fancy things in business, but then you go out into the world and nothing. You can't produce anything. We want you to be able to apply what you've learned here over there. Alright? It's the same thing here. We need you to be able to apply the knowledge that we've given you. Okay? But are there any questions or thoughts from your side in relation to anything in relation to the module? Any questions or thoughts? Okay, I believe someone was taking down the numbers so you guys can start the WhatsApp group. Okay, see, that is a good example of applying what the lecturer has said. What don't you get? I was expecting laughter, but it's half crowd. It's half crowd. Okay. All right, guys, it's been awesome. Do enjoy the rest of your day. I will probably see you on Friday, if not next week. Okay? All right, take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Yes.